What's up, comic and pop culture fans? This is James with Minhunter Comics. I got a little bit of a small little comic haul for you. Thought I'd show it off. I actually had a bunch of tree repairs being done on my road, and they cut all the power. So since I work from home, I told my boss, hey, I need a day off. So I naturally spent it going around the countryside looking for comics. And here's what I got. Nothing too crazy, but I thought I'd show some good stuff off, including one thing in particular, which is pretty darn dope. Check it out. So in the morning, I went to my local comic book shops, Cyborg One and Phantasm Comics. Both of them are within a 30-minute drive from where I live. And guys, whenever I am in the wild or at comic book shops, I always try to pick up Green Lantern keys that look particularly high grade. As you know, I'm trying to own every Green Lantern comic ever in a very high CGC grade. So I picked up from the second volume just a bunch of Green Lanterns that I thought actually stood a chance at getting the 9/8. And for this particular run, it's getting harder and harder to find these in that really sharp high grade because frankly, these are 40-year-old books now. It's not as easy as it once was. Some of these are even ones I already own in 9.8, but I thought, why the hell not? Why don't I submit them, see if I can't cause another 9/8 to be out there in existence for these. Give a little love to one of my favorite characters. So, really sharp stuff. I've had two of these already, so this will be the third one I've submitted of this Green Lantern 198. A couple bigger keys here. First, Aricia. This is one I actually had a CBCS 9/8, and I submitted it to CGC because I have crippling OCD. I wanted to see it turn into a CGC 9.8, and CGC graded it a 9.6. So I'm still trying to get a 9.8 of this book. Tale of the Green Lantern Corps #1. Beautiful cover. And the bigger one, #2. This is the first appearance of Necron. That's pretty awesome to find, and Greg at Phantasm Comics was selling it for $7, so no brainer, man. And here's one that I actually just put on my favorite comics of all time, Green Lantern Corps Annual #2, and I thought it was pretty high grade. This one's definitely eluded me. I don't think there's too many out there, so I definitely want to get this in a 9.8. This is kind of a grail for me out there in the wild. A little bit of a white whale situation. Then we have a little bit of Green Lantern Volume 2. And these are books that only really matter to me and maybe other like 10 people in the world. Like no one tends to care about this particular Green Lantern run. I thought it was great. I love Kyle Rayner. I love these books. And like I said, if it's a good deal, if it's under like $4 and it looks particularly high grade, I pick it up every time. And of course, Volume 4, because Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, picked up some good ones here. This is that great Jeff Johns run that I talk about all the time. I got some beautiful covers. I think some of these are even the variants. And I'm pretty excited to have these in the collection. A lot of these are really tough. This one in particular to get a 9.8. And they've eluded me even more than some of those 80s books. I talk all the time about how I think sometimes 80s and 90s paper is in some ways better than modern paper, especially with Marvel. Well, hopefully I finally landed some ones in which I can get the grade. I bought one slab because it was a killer deal. It's Green Lantern Corps Quarterly, and it's issue #1. It's the first appearance of Jack Chance, which is a really awesome Green Lantern character. He's almost like a Lobo-style Green Lantern. Like, he's very outgoing, let's just say. He's a really cool one. I used to love reading this as a kid. And it's such a small-time key that, like CGC doesn't even note it on the label, which I think is just hilarious. It's a great one to have. And it was like $50. And I think there was another one on eBay that was like $200. And I was like, I can't do it. This one popped on eBay, $50. Done. No problem. Now, I got some real good ones here. I've already started putting some of these in Mylar. The early Batmans I always collect in Mylar. My Batman collection is pretty vast, and I'm starting to get duplicates, especially if they're high grade. Well, I got a really sharp copy of 261. Now, what's interesting about these Batmans I'm showing you is I went to help a friend who just got a bunch of books in, and he wanted my help to see if there was anything in there that was good, and I rifled through. We found some keys. For the most part, it was picked pretty clean, but it had a lot of great filler stuff, and some of it was fairly high grade, even though it wasn't keys. So I was happy to pick these up. Some of these are duplicates that I already have. Just for my time of being out there, he just offered them outright to me, but I did give him money. It felt wrong to just get fairly high grade Batmans for free. So, all right, another great one there. Some of these are so sharp that they actually might be in the high 9 range, and especially for 60s and early 70s stuff, I think that's pretty impressive. This one's the worst shape out of the batch. Not bad. Here's one I might actually think of submitting to CGC. It's a 202. Again, not a key, but it's like in 9/8 shape with a press. No joke. My Batman collection pre-400 is all raw, but when I get ones this high grade, it definitely makes me think. Here's a 201. That one's pretty beat up. Next, we got a 180. Pretty nice shape, I'd say, like a 7.0 or something like that. And then we got the Bat Baby. Always a good duplicate to have. First appearance of the Bat Baby. So that's pretty sweet. This one might actually be nicer than the one I had previously. So that's good. Another great one for the collection. Now, to top the day off, I went to Brave New Worlds, which is a store that I've mentioned many times. I think that they have oftentimes very good keys and very good prices. And there's this one book that's always eluded me in the wild. I can't find it. I can't even find it in stores. So if it were in stores, I probably would have bought it by now. And yeah, you can go on eBay, but that's boring, man. That's boring. I like finding these books in the wild, in stores, and it is The Demon, #1. Jack Kirby's The Demon. I never, ever see this. I guess a DC 20 center in the 70s, even though it was Jack Kirby, I guess it must not have been appealing to many people. Not many people bought it. Well, this is a super sharp copy, probably in the 8 range. So absolutely, and I thought it was a pretty good price, so I was very happy to pick that up. Let me know what you think I should do with that in the comments down below. I think that that's a huge score. This is one I've been chasing for 15 years, so to finally have that is massive. Now, guys, there was one other thing I got, and it was actually my first art print, and signed by Alex Ross. Check it out.
All right, guys, this is one of the first pieces of art, one of the first art prints I've actually bought. So this just arrived. Let's get this set up and in my new office. All right, guys, I'm going to use the heavy duty plugs because I cannot have that thing crash. Also, this is the new office. It's pretty small. I think when I'm all wrapped up, maybe I'll do some sort of tour for you guys. It's not dorky yet. It looks like a normal guy lives here. A normal frat guy. I gotta clean up, actually. Yeah. All right, guys, let's get it up here. This is where I'm going to put my printer and all that. It's kind of awkward. Okay, I got it. Perfect. I'll bring out the level just to make sure that's good. I'll put a little bit of alien tape on the bottom just so it's tight. But that's it, guys. This is my first art print. Signed by Alex Ross. That is super, super sweet and a much needed addition to this bland, dirty room.
So yeah, the office is a work in progress to say the least. However, just to finally start adding some dorky flares in there, cool. It's going to be really awesome. And by the end, Once it's done, I'm sure I'll do like an office tour. It's not that big of a room, but it'll still be cool, and I'm sure I'll have some dope books, maybe some statues in there. We'll see. Anyway, guys, as always, get out there, enjoy your days off, and keep on hunting.